Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday to you. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to another night, Prayer for Marriages with your host, Dr. Marcia Baker. I'm here along with my co-host, Evangelist Nikki. I almost said Dr. Nikki. Yup, soon be Dr. Nikki. So watch out. Amen. So we're just grateful tonight to come to you tonight. Listen, tonight we have a topic. Tonight is buyer's remorse in marriage. So happy Monday to you. We're gonna delve into this topic. Well, not we. Evangelist Nikki will delve into this topic tonight. Listen, have you ever had remorse? Sometimes you go to the store and you buy something, it's like, oh, why did I get this? Oh my God, can I take it back? Some things you can take back, some things you can't. Some things, even when you take it back, you can't get a refund. You got to get a store credit. You're like, no, I don't want a store credit because I'm not coming back to this store, right? And once, let's say this, once you buy a car and you take it back to the car, it depreciates. The moment you drive the car off the parking lot, it depreciates. So when you take it back, you're still not going to get what you paid for. So we're going to divulge into this topic tonight. And I just want to say welcome to another night of Prayer for Marriages. We're here and we're just excited to be with you all on tonight. I'm excited about this topic. I can't wait for this topic to be divulged, and I want to hear what Evangelist Nikki got to say to us on today. All right. So I'm going to move myself out the way and I'm going to allow Evangelist Nikki to just come in and she's going to take over for the rest of the session. All right. I'll see you at the end of the session. Over to you,
Okay, I
Evangelist
like the
Nikki.
fact you put me out there in the hot seat to be stoned, right?
That's right.
Howdy, greetings, all of you. Take the time out to tune in, whether you're live watching, catching the replay. We truly honor your time here with us. We do not take it lightly. We know you could have been elsewhere, listening to everything else or anything else, but listen, we truly value you. Tune in, keep us going, fueling us, because we're not doing it just for us. We wanted to make sure that whatever we're doing is impacting marriages, because that's our goal, right? We know there's so much out there when it comes on to marriage, some for, some ain't, and so many nuances out there. But what we want to try to do is to be practical, give you practical things, everyday things that can help us be better and be the
We're
change we wanted to
here
see in our
and we're
marriage. And
just
yes, I am your
excited to
girl's truly,
be
Evangelist Nikki
with you all
McKenzie. I'm
on
a
tonight.
simple girl just trying to be better than I was the day before. The only competition I have is to be better than I was yesterday. That's it. Myself, compete against myself to push myself to be better than I was the day before. And I think that it will do a world of good if we start taking accountability. Like, we don't need to compete with each other, complement each other, and help each other be better. And that's why we're here, to help marriages be better. And you say my marriage is perfect, it's fine, it's good. Listen, there's still there's always room for improvement, right? There's always room for improvement, because daily we have to come with a mindset for the mind to grow. And as Evangelist said, I'm kind of scared about this topic, but I know y'all gonna help me get through it, okay? Buyer's remorse in marriage. Yes. Howdy. My husband keep asking me, what's the topic for today? I said, you got to tune in. So guess what? He's tuning in. So I hope I did not discuss this topic at all with him, but he's tuning in. I told him, if you want to know what it is, you got to come on live. So there he goes. Good to have you, Han. My amazing hubby. Good to have you on, Mr. McKenzie. So again, we are going to be delving into today's topic, buyer's remorse in marriage. And if you missed last week, the past 2 weeks when we returned, we spoke
Preaching
about
the truth came, and now
put a
I got my
respect on the
truth
covenant,
straight.
a
But see,
respect on the ring. So we'd like you to go back and check that out as well in our catalog out there on your downtime, in your work time, when if you have the bandwidth, share, encourage someone, right? So today, you'd be like, what is she talking about? Buyer's remorse in marriage? Great question. Guess what? You might have never been there, thank God, But some folks have been there. We cannot be in denial about that. Some folks have find themselves there. They do not call it buyer's remorse. Some people call it regret or made a mistake. It's not my true love. I was going through a situation and it was convenient. Whatever the nuances. At the end, we sum it up as buyer's remorse. Okay. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And again, this is Prayer for Marriages, and we're here to help you be better steward in your marriage, not what your spouse is not doing, but what you can do to make sure your marriage is better. And we always said marriage do not have problem. Well, I honestly believe when people say they're having problem in their marriage, no marriages, my humble opinion, no marriages have problem. However, marriage is made up of people. So if the two persons in the marriage is having problem, then the marriage is going to have problem. But if we want to avoid marriage problem, what we do is to fix us. Be the change we want to see in us, and then you'll have a beautiful marriage, right? So don't say that my marriage is having problem, because now you're outsourcing who's supposed to take accountability for yourself. So when two people come together and is what two people come together make a beautiful marriage. The covenant marriage, the one that we stand for, man and a wife. Don't stone me. That's the one we're on today. There's many more out there, but let's focus on one today. I can only do one today. It's a husband and a wife. When each one take accountability to fix themselves, then we'll see a beautiful marriage. So buyer's remorse in marriage. Let's start first. The scripture that came to mind is Mark 10, verse 9. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate. So I know we all quote this very well. So stick a pin there. That's it. When we say buyer's remorse, so think about it. Don't think of buyer's remorse, right? What first came to mind, the evangelist alluded to earlier. Think about some of us who love shoes, right? And you buy a pair of shoes. And after, you got some stores give you the option for 30-day return policy, some 2 weeks, some 7 days return policy. And some probably 90 days, not sure anymore if the 90 days still apply, but depends, right? But some stores will tell you all sales are final. So when you think of what God has joined together, let no man separate, what comes to mind? It's final. If we do it God ways, don't yes, we're not naive. Evangelistic, what do you mean? There's a lot of divorce going around. Some people on their second, their third, their fourth, their fifth marriage. Great question, right? But we're talking about when you do it God way, understand the covenant from the contract. Yes, buyer's remorse might creep in, but then you'll get back to the foundation of what God said. So just be mindful of that when we're talking about buyer's remorse, right? So basically, when we think of buyer's remorse and how this normally come about, is when you think of the definition of buyer's remorse, it's a sense of regret. It's defined as a sense of regret. And as Evangelist spoke eloquently yesterday about fear, yes, we are mortal man, and yes, fear is real. A lot of time we said it's false evidence appearing real, but it is real. It is real. However, when you stand in faith, it will cancel out your fear. So we cannot deny that people do go through fear, but it's how we deal with it makes a difference as believer when we're standing in faith. Also, when you think of buyer's remorse, it's second guessing after saying I do. The honeymoon, the planning, because some people it's just about the excitement for that one day. They're about the wedding day. A lot of folks will tell you they did not sign up for the marriage. It's like you go to a store and you're there with your friend shopping and you see a purse and she's convincing you because she's getting one, you should get one too. But deep down, that is not your favorite color. Deep down, that's not the brand you like. But some of us just go with the flow. And then you get home and then you're like, I'm not really feeling this, right? I need to return it. Well, when it comes on to covenant, that's how we said it's a lifelong decision. You must pray about it, seek the Lord about it, seek wisdom about it, right? Don't just jump it because that's what everybody is doing. That's what family expected. That's what everyone in my family do, right? Without not thinking about the long-term commitment that you're getting into. And so it's not always about the person. Sometimes it's about the weight of the commitment, because a lot of people don't have stickability. A lot of people like to cut and run, so to speak. As soon as the fire get hot, they're like, I'm out of here. Right? So it's unlearning and relearning the difference of the unity of becoming one. A lot of folks is not ready for that. So when we think of buyer's remorse, it's a moment when the covenant feels heavy that, than the celebration. Because again, the celebration is only for a day. A day. The marriage is for a lifetime. So, when you wake up one day and wonder, did I make the right choice? We all do that at the time when we buy stuff. And a lot of time we go in there and we argue when they said the sale was final. Well, we're at the section I got it from. It didn't say final. And, we want to argue. And there's, all the nuances. You need receipt. You need this. You need that. It's outside of the window. It's outside of the 30-day return policy. And with this brand or something like this, it's final. Once you take it off the lot, as you said with a car, there's consequences when you have to return it and so forth. So when you think of buyer's remorse in marriages, a lot of time it's that anxiety of what did I sign up for? Because a lot of folks are not ready to commit to that long term of becoming one. So Proverbs 13:12 tells us hope defers makes the heart sick, right? We expect perfection again, which is not realistic. But marriage is a refining fire. It will bring out things in you that you thought did not exist. It will bring out a side of you. You're like, who is that person? Right? Sometimes it's the great side of us. Sometimes it's the not so good side of us. You know what I mean? So when you think of rushing into a decision based on unrealistic expectation, those are some of the mindset you'll end up with buyer's remorse. Ecclesiastes 3 said there is a time for everything. So don't rush. Like I said earlier, take time to seek the Lord. Sometimes we ignore God's timing and rush into covenant. Well, every church I go, every function, the prophet, the prophetess, the apostles, they prophesy. This is your season to get married. And you're Boaz, because I don't know why people are always searching after Boaz. You already know how we stand on Boaz, okay? When a woman said they want a Boaz, be real. If you're honest with yourself, you don't want Boaz. Boaz is gone. They done gone how many years ago? What you want is the benefit of a Boaz, financial stability. But a lot of time we don't say that. We just say we want a Boaz. But when a woman say they want their Boaz, what they're really saying, I want a man with the financial status, the financial stability to take care of her family as Boaz, because Boaz was a businessman, right? So a lot of time we said Boaz and don't realize what we're asking for because it's cute to say, you know what I mean? But be realistic on what you want. That way you don't have those buyer's remorse. First, you got to be real with yourself, not what others is pushing down you. I mean, anybody can prophesy over your life. God is also going to confirm his word to you as well if you seek him. He's always going to send confirmation first to you. And even if it's not first you, eventually he will confirm his word to you. Because based on the relationship you have with God, he speaks to you just like he speaks to the prophet and the prophetess. Not to dismiss what they're saying, but he always confirms his word. But if we're in tune and we're listening keenly, we don't shun it and dismiss it and hear what we want to hear. So a lot of time folks got into marriage and they have the bachelor life forever, right? They're like, oh, this is me. I do what I want to do whenever I want to do. I have nobody to report to. I come and I go and as I please. Now, when you get married, now that have to change. As Genesis said, the two shall become one flesh. A lot of folks said, I'm going to sign up for this. Becoming one again, they think is I'm losing my identity. I got to fit into what this person desire. No, that's not correct. Becoming one doesn't mean losing who you are. It means surrender selfishness, where you become selfless, where you're not just thinking about yourself, you're thinking about whatever decision you make, how will it impact the other person? And if the shoes was on the other foot, how would I want this person to make this decision with me in mind? So it's not about me, myself, and I. It's about us and we and ours. So again, it's retraining your mindset from a singleness, which take work, okay, to becoming one, where a lot of folks have not signed up for that. So it will lead you to buyer's remorse. You start contemplating, I need to get out of here. Okay, don't move too fast now. Let's slow down. One of the other things that lead to buyer's remorse is the comparison and discontent. In today's culture, society, Lord, let me tell you. First, Exodus 20 said, you shall not covet. So we're talking about covenant marriage now. There is a word for everything to guide you, whether you're in buyer's remorse, regret, fear, all of that. There is a word to encourage you, because God will not put us through a situation that He have not equipped us for. So when you think of comparison, think of social media and the culture that tempt us to compare and covet other relationship. You know how your people say they want a husband like mine? I said, be careful what you ask for, because you want a husband like mine. No, you want what you see. You know what I mean? A lot of people can't deal with a husband like mine because they don't have the stickability, they don't have the patience, right? But they like what they see, because that's the culture we live in. Again, we're dismissing what covenant said based on what the world want us to see. Because the world is going to portray not what God want marriage to be, but the prince of darkness, the prince of lies, who come to kill, steal, divide, and destroy. He gonna make it so good that you think that whatever you're doing is not good enough, or whatever the person that you're with is doing for you is never good enough. Well, how would you know that it's not good enough? I mean, you've never been with this person before, right? So we started comparing somebody who we have no relationship with, don't understand what's going on in their relationship, and now we bring that into destroy ours. That's what the enemy does. You don't know what a person have to go through. You don't know when they up at night praying. You don't know the stress they got to go through just to get up and put a smile on their face and say, God got this, right? But a lot of time we want the fruit. And like we spoke about last week, put a respect on the ring, right? Where a lot of folks, once they see somebody with a ring on their finger, they're like, okay, that person is refined. They can commit. So now it's my turn. Somebody will refine them for me. So, like God operate in that type of mess, right? And I heard somebody said women are attracted to shiny things. So the ring just put a bling on their eye. And then they start throwing themselves at the spouse out there. And now you go home comparing. I said, Lord, I think my soulmate is out there. Because I wasn't getting all this attention then, right? Now I'm getting all this attention. So now you start living in regret. Like, I think my soulmate is out there. I think I married the wrong one. What was I thinking? I don't think this is true, right? But who speak like that? It's the enemy. His job is to whisper lies in your ear. Because number one, you don't even know that person from a can of paint. You don't know what spirit they carry. You don't know what you can tolerate with them. You don't know their quirky habits. But the person you're with, you already know. Okay? My husband already know that I have cold feet, and I like to put my cold feet to warm him up. But to get them warmed up, and he buy me all the socks in the world. But I still end up with my cold feet on his feet to warm them, because he's always hot and I'm always cold. Some people can't deal with that. Okay? And he gracefully, he'll let me warmed up, and he'll say, baby, you want me to go get you a pair of socks? Okay? So simple things like that, a lot of folks can't deal with. Some spouse snore. They're like, I have to sleep in the next room because I can't sleep with a snoring. You don't know what that person has to go through, right? But we see the fruit and we automatically assume that that person married is better. Instead of get wisdom, ask them pertinent, important question. If you have challenges, reach out to somebody that you respect and you respect their marriages and ask them general question. How do you overcome this situation? Have you ever encountered this? Instead of coveting, and being envious, right? And people will tell you, but we don't want the knowledge. You know why? Because we don't want to put in the work. We want to get something ready down like we do with the microwave. The food is already cooked, and all we have to do is to eat it up. And forget that we need to read the instruction. How long do you need to eat it up for? Do you need to keep the file paper on it? Do you need to? We don't want to do none of that. Okay? And then we complain. And think about the time that we live in. It's listen, we cannot turn a blind eye. We are in wartime. And it's not to scare anyone. As it is in the physical, it is in the spiritual. And we said it before, it's no coincidence that the American, you know, defense system, which was the system of defense, is now the system of war. We're no longer in defense mode anymore. We're in war naturally. That's the rebranding of the name that they're trying to finalize in September, right? Don't know if it's fully finalized, but that's what they're pushing for. That America is no longer the Department of Defense, but the Department of War. It's no coincidence why we always in warfare when it comes to spiritual warfare, when it comes to marriages, right? We can't turn a blind eye because the two go further when they work together. But when the enemy can have you bickering, coveting, envious, jealous in each other, do you have time to communicate and collaborate? Do you have time to compliment each other? Do you have time to treat each other with love and respect? No, we're busy comparing what's out there instead of appreciate what's in here. And I always tell people, whatever you're complaining about in your marriage is somebody else's prayer point. Lord, just bless me with a husband. Just bless me with a wife with cold feet. Bless me with a wife who can read the instruction and the TV dinner or something. Or bless me with a husband who loves to cook. Okay? So when you think of spiritual warfare in the natural, it's no coincidence that we have to be using the spirit of discernment. And like we said, if we go into marriage seeing it as a contract, we will always have buyer's remorse. Because contract, we're going to look for the clause to get out. We're going to nitpick, the fine tune. How do I get out? Right? What is the exit plan? So are you planning for lifelong when your whole mindset is to exit before you can even get started? Let me reread this fine print again. Oh, okay. If he doesn't give me spousal support, if I don't get my maintenance money, let me see. Do I need to get out of this? Okay, let me see. Right? And we're nitpicking what society's standard is. And we forget that. In John 10, someplace there said the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. So when we start thinking like that, whose function are we operating under? Whose job are we doing now? When we covet, jealousy, all of that is not the fruit of the spirit. So whose work are we doing? We're doing the devil's work. And then we wonder why we have an attack in our marriages. Satan target marriages because they reflect Christ and the church. It's that simple. It's that simple, right? Well, it's not my marriage, it's my spouse. Well, I mean, God worked through people. Satan need people to function too. God used us to do his work as his disciples, his servants. How do you think Satan functioned? He functioned through people. But what we do, we turn a blind eye and start focusing on the issues that's irrelevant, the things that we created in our mind that don't even happen yet. Because what? We see somebody out there situation and we said, well, my husband is not like that. And then you go home and you start telling him, why you can't be more like so-and-so? Why you can't take me out on date like so-and-so? Why you can't show me love like so-and-so? Well, dear, you will never get anywhere, especially with a masculine man talking to him like that.
No,
like, you don't talk to your boss like that. You don't talk to your pastor like that. So you're going to respect me. You're going to honor me. Well, I respect you when you start taking me out. I respect you when you start doing all these things that society standards set. But we don't come together to collaborate and say, let's make our marriage for us, unique for us. Some people like date at a restaurant. Some people like me. I love my date going on the trail. Put on my sneakers and my sweatpants or my yoga pants and go on the walking trail. That's a date for me with my spouse. Some people are like, well, I don't want him to see me sweat. Well, sweetie, I don't like the noise in the restaurant. The food undercooked, overcooked, and overpriced. Okay, that's a me thing. How would my spouse know that that's not important to me? When I talk about date, I don't say, babe, you haven't taken me out on a date in a while. You know what I'm going to say, babe? It's been a while since I take you out on a date. But what do we say? You ain't take me out on a date in a while. There's no love here. I don't know what I got into. What was I thinking? Right? Because again, marriage is two people coming together, not attacking each other, but work together in unity. Marriage is not a contract, it is a covenant. The Lord is witness between you and the wife of your youth. She is your partner, the wife of your covenant in Malachi. Covenants are not sacred because society said so. It is sacred because it's sealed by God and it's meant to endure storms. Society concept of marriage is the contract. You got 90 days to exit. You have X amount of time to change your mind, right? And we go with that narrative because we want to find an out. But when we think of what God calls us in marriage, is to represent Him, is to create a representation of kingdom on earth. But the enemy job is to destroy that. So if you find yourself in buyer's remorse, examine yourself. Did you have unrealistic expectation? Did you rush the decision? Did you lose autonomy? Are you doing the comparison culture? And if that's where you find yourself, do not be dismayed. We're here to encourage you that your marriage is not doomed. What you need to do is to have open dialogue, seek counseling, therapy, right? Whatever it needs to help you navigate this unrealistic expectation that you had said, and somebody who probably have no idea what you expect from them because you have not communicated, and create what works for both of you. Because what might works for me and my husband might not works for you. Some people are like, I'm not going in no hot sun. I'm not going for a walk. That's not my thing, right? But that worked for us because that's our thing. So having that open dialogue with your partner, your spouse, and let them know buyer's remorse in marriage is not a dead end. It's a signal for growth. Couples who acknowledge and address it can transform their relationship into something more resilient and fulfilling. Embarrassing remorse in marriage is not necessarily a sign where society say you're failing. Because a lot of time we beat them on ourselves that I made the wrong decision. It is a common emotional checkpoint. That's all it's saying. It often reflects the transition from idolizing love to mature partnership. It's doing the hard work to grow, to become one. Recognizing and working through this phase can lead to stronger, more resilient relationship. So don't be so hard on yourself. If you find yourself there, ever find yourself there, your marriage is not lost. It's not the doomsday. It is a signal for growth. It's a signal for you to have those open dialogue and be real with yourself. So your partner and you can work through it together. So be encouraged. Don't feel like I need to go find a fine print. Is it 90 days yet? Can I get out of this? Right? Can I annul it? Right? And it doesn't happen in the first 90 days. Some people be married for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and at some point they feel like they're not growing together. Right? And now they feel like, did I make a mistake? Because one might still left in 10 years ago and one is like way advanced. But what you do, you give your partners time to grow. Just help them along the way. Where a lot of people feel like they're supposed to be at my pace. Everybody don't learn at the same time. Everybody don't learn the same way. So give your spouse grace the same way you'd want your spouse to give you grace. It's not a time to quit. It's not a time to compare. It's not a time to covet. It's a time for us to collaborate. In these wartime, you need your support system, and it starts at home. The to win the war in the world, you have to first win it at home. You cannot go out there go slay the dragon when you go back home. You have what they call legion at home. You cannot go. You cannot do that. You gotta make sure home is protected and covered because the enemy don't play fear. But let me tell you something. Our God is a fair and just God when you do your part.
That is true.
Sound good?
That is absolutely true. Oh my God. I can't believe the time went so quick, Evangelist. Oh my God. This is so good. And I know you're not finished. You don't have to tell me. I know you're not finished. Because when we talk about buyer's remorse, it takes time. And I like the topics that we're divulging into because so many people have unrealistic expectations in their relationship from their spouse. Like I was listening to somebody talk the other day, and I was like, That's so unrealistic what you're expecting from your spouse. You can't even give that to yourself. This is what I told the person. You can't give that to your spouse, but then you want it from them. How fair is that, you know? And so a lot of times we tend to really want something from our spouse that we ourselves cannot give. And I like the portion where you say, you know, oh, I want a husband like yours. But we're not able to tolerate or deal with some of the little small things that happen behind the scene, right? The small things that we can put up with will frustrate
Mhm.
somebody else, right?
Yes,
You know,
yes.
so I mean, it's just like yesterday I said to people, my husband is the fire and I'm the water. And I'm trying to tell you, y'all, my husband is really quiet. He's really quiet. And he's quiet to a fault. That's why I say he's the fire and I'm the water, right? And so not too many people can just put up with somebody like that. Not too many people. But oh, you got such a I want a husband like your husband. When he get up in the middle of the night and want to pray and
Mhm.
you want to sleep, or you want the other thing and he's like, babe, I gotta pray first. You understand what I'm saying? So you got
Mhm.
listen, don't listen. Dr. Hope said they see this the glory, but they don't know the story. They see after we've done refined and worked out some of the kinks and we're doing the best that we can do, and then somebody come and want them. But listen, I know we will continue with part two next week. I'm loving this. I'm loving this conversation. I'm loving this dialogue. I'm loving this topic. Buyer's remorse. Are you having buyer's remorse in your marriage? I know some of you said, ouch, 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 but I know you are. Listen, thank you for joining us. Again, Evangelist, thank you so much for divulging in this topic. This is well needed, and I know a lot of persons is saying, having some of the thoughts that you said. All right. So listen, if you're not part of our Thursday night community, I'm adjuring you, I'm beseeching you to become a part of our Thursday night community. This week, we're going to do part two on how effective is your fasting. Yes, it was a hit a couple of weeks ago, and we're bringing it part two back because Minister Kay Dawkins from the UK, she was not finished. So we're going to complete it on this week. All right, so we're going to see you again. Evangelist, do you have any last word before we go?
No, we'll tune in again. Then, like I said, send your comments in, send your topic in. Listen, we will try to get it out there because if one person having an issue, others might be and does not have the courage to say it. So don't feel scared to share
Right.
whatever you want us to talk about. We do listen to your feedback, and we're not just here for us, for me and Evangelist. We want to encourage you. And if it's something that you're facing and you feel like, you know what, somebody else might be encouraged if we can discuss it, please free to reach out to us. We solicit your feedback and we do appreciate when you like and share as well to help the algorithm. So thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you so much. And if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please
Yes.
do so. I'm trying to get to 500 so I can become monetized. So please, y'all, please, yes, 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 yes. So see you on next Monday for part two in Buyer's Remorse in Marriage. Have a God bless evening. Good night.